The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
Hey, this is Rev from the Drowns, and if you still believe in rock and roll, then keep the dial set here at the Struggling Artist Podcast.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Welcome to the Struggling Artist Record Club's June selection, which is volume number 44 of the DCPC live albums featuring M.A.C.E and Trash Diva. Dave, what are you excited about musically right now?
Well, Tim Barry is one of my favorite artists of all time, so I scored a test press bundle. Then I decided I needed something to store those 6 records, so I'll be sharing that on my Instagram when it arrives early next week. The new Bouncing Souls album is really great. Been listening to that a lot. Trevor Keith from Face to Face has a new country album due out on Friday. I got the vinyl a few days ago, and it's brilliant. I wish every punk singer would release solo albums, because the ones I love, like Tim Barry, Chuck Reagan, and Dustin Kensrue, are all amazing records that I listen to all the time. Now I can add Trevor Keith to that club. Basically gives me an excuse to listen to like country and folk stuff. Plus these records that they make are just so damn good. I really, really enjoy them a lot. New Doom Stompers came out last month, and that's really good. Organ forward ska, reggae, and dub. They're from New York, so check them out. Citizens, featuring Al Barr, the Dropkick Murphys on one song, and a ton of other guest vocals. Released one of the best Skinhead albums in years. I listened to that album about 30 times in a row, and I got it on vinyl last week. Just so good. Zorn from my hometown, Philly, released a new metal punk album last week. Zorn's a really cool live band that incorporates giant kaiju-style monsters, oversized medieval weaponry, and encourages fans to bring their own homemade weapons to shows. The new Gun 7-inch was released in May, and I just got that last week. Gun sounds like a mix of the Adolescents and Black Flag. Skate punk legends Belvedere released a new album that I got on vinyl last week. It's really good. Clover Hearts from Australia released an amazing Celtic punk album that I got on vinyl a few weeks ago. Neurosis released an epic double album that I just got on vinyl. That's their first album in like 13 years or so. Thursday reissued No Devolution on vinyl last week, so I'm excited. I don't have that, so I got that on order. I got my first Cramps record on vinyl. Fucked Up released a double album. And anything music-wise you're excited for?
Yeah, not really a whole lot. I haven't been listening to much new stuff or getting too many old records or anything recently. Just, since we last recorded, I moved all of my records across the country, so
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're probably
I'm
probably
kind of putting
busy.
a pause on getting new music right now for a little bit.
Yeah, it makes total sense, right? Got to get things shipped over, or it's sent over there and then organized. So you don't want to keep adding to the mess.
Yeah, I'll start buying new music again in a few months.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So I'm gonna do the readout. We got Friends, DCxPC Live Volume 44, M.A.C.E vs. Trash Diva is practically 2 albums in one. 9 live tracks from Trash Diva, then flip over to hear 9 live tracks from M.A.C.E. This album will make you feel as if you are at a show enjoying new bands, stomping around the pit, minus the sweating. Baltimore's Trash Diva has crazy riffs mixed with the singer Nikki rearranging brains with the wildest cadence and tone I've ever heard, while M.A.C.E rips into you with some vicious, politically driven hardcore from Florida. Also this month, I included the digital code to get my little collection of essays in audio form from Bandcamp. And Ryan, do you want to read Bill's Instagram review?
Yeah, I've got Bill's post here. At the Struggling Artist Record Club, this one may hurt a bit. The vinyl for June at DCxPC _live, volume 44, M.A.C.E and Trash Diva. You can't win them all. I'm a great appreciator of DCPC releases. My first was Rebelmatic's live album, as well as Luxury Taste Live Dead release. I'm absolutely impressed time and time again by the sound quality of these live releases. If anything, they're too good by nearly omitting the crowd noise. I've been attempting to collect all of the label's releases, and along the way, I've gotten some repeats, which now includes Volume 44. As I've mentioned before, I'm not a fan of screaming and inarticulate hardcore. Add to that the fact I listen with headphones on as to not disturb the rest of the house. The wife and kids do not share most of my musical tastes. I know how that goes. I'll take the Trash Diva side first. Not a fan. Unintelligible lyrics punctuated with deafening vocal railroad spikes to the brain. Even with these cans off my head, these pain-inducing spikes fucking hurt. The one song that was nearly tolerable, Treat Me Like a Weapon, sounded so good at the start. Then the vocalist started screaming again and ruined what otherwise may have been a decent tune. I took the time to research their non-live releases digitally and found them much more palatable. Nikki Richards still screams, but it doesn't feel like a spike in the ear canal. M.A.C.E fared slightly better. Vocals are still screaming, but nothing is sending arrows into my head, which were begging for mercy by now. I can close my eyes and envision the band being a frenetic version of political punk, aka Burn Kit, and they just about pull it off. The difference being I can understand Burn Kit. The non-live output did little to improve how I felt. Still screaming, still incoherent, and Bandcamp has lyrics. The musicians behind both vocalists sound great, but all bass, guitar, drums in the world won't work if the vocals fail. I'm just an old fat punk. I get the message, just not the delivery. On the plus side, after listening to this, I directly inputted the new Rebelmatic and Dead Pioneers albums repeatedly. They're both fucking awesome. Thanks for the review. Yeah, I've said recently quite a bit that not everyone's going to hit, and sounds like this one was a swing and a miss.
This one would have really
there.
benefited with a lyric sheet. So I know I had to go to M.A.C.E.'s Bandcamp, and then I found their like first release, and then I would match up those lyrics to the songs playing. I think about half of those songs were on there. So yeah, a lyric sheet really would have helped, or just put the lyrics on the Bandcamp. Just for aggressive music, you just really always need lyrics. And just like we've always said a million times, you can't connect with an album as much as you want to without lyrics. So it's pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and read my review now. When I finished listening to this record, two things came to mind: the band Gloss and the label Profane Existence. Let me explain. Gloss from Olympia, Washington hit the punk scene in January of 2015 with a demo and followed it up with Trans Day of Revenge a year later. It was like a nuclear explosion had landed. People were freaking out over this band. I've never seen so much love for a hardcore punk band like that. The music was fast hardcore, but played really well. I bought both of those albums and really enjoyed them. Besides the music being amazing, the trans message probably got people excited too. This was the first band I remember that sounded this good while flying the trans flag. That's just a guess though, since this was about a decade ago and I don't remember all the details exactly. I believe Gloss actually broke up because they got too popular and it was too tough for them to handle, if memory is correct. Anyway, after I finished listening to Trash Diva and M.A.C.E, I went back and listened to Gloss and felt like both these bands must have been influenced by them. So yeah, I really enjoyed the songs by both these bands. They play a raging style of hardcore that hits hard both lyrically and musically. The second thing I thought about after listening to this record was the label Profane Existence. Profane Existence has always been one of the most punkest labels around. They specialize in crust punk, but I could see them releasing music by both of these bands. The reason I thought of Profane Existence is because of the lyrics from both of these bands. They reminded me of the lyrics from most of the Profane Existence bands, especially a female-fronted band called Appalachian Terror Unit. These are lyrics that address issues like trans rights and queer voices. Like I said, I feel like these bands could release something on Profane Existence. So I encourage you to check out that label. They've been around since 1989, and I have a lot of their releases, and they're still putting out albums. Some of my favorite albums from them are Nausea, Doom, Misery, Osrodden, Provoked, and Flower. Flower was the last release I got from them a few years ago. They're from New York and play raging crust punk with amazing female vocals. I'm pretty obsessed with albums that have that crust punk sound with female vocals. There's another band called Lifeless Dark that's not on Profane Existence, but they also play really good crust punk with female vocals, and they put out an amazing album last year that I still listen to a lot. Some other information about the bands. Trash Diva was formed in 2023 in Baltimore, Maryland, and they're inspired by bands like Scal, Space, Punitive Damage, Bug-In, Black Flag, and Coalesce. Baltimore, Maryland is a hotbed of hardcore right now, with bands like N-Rain, Jive Bomb, End It, Casket, Angel Dust, Civilian, Doubt, Erode, Ouster, Sinister Feeling, Trapped Under Ice, Stout, 25 to Life, and of course, Turnstile. Flatspot Records, who's the main label releasing Baltimore hardcore, is quoted saying, "You have a new band popping up every week. I can't keep up with it." Some other information about M.A.C.E. As of 2023, lead singer Eva Strangelace does DJing as Hexerdist, has stints in Call-In Dead and Caustic Bats, and gigs around town playing the cello. Eva mentions that Gloss was a big influence on M.A.C.E. She considered moving to Boston since Florida is very conservative and not friendly toward queer voices, but she decided to stay in Florida because queer voices are needed there the most. That's where the fight is, she says. So M.A.C.E.'s lyrics address issues of that. This was released by DCxPC, and I think it's safe to say they are one of, if not the best live labels of all time. Lastly, I want to mention Trev's Bandcamp release. I was planning on discussing it, and then he included a Bandcamp card for it, so now I really want to discuss it. The term revolutionary is not something people use often, so I won't use it here, but there is something fresh with Trev's release. I feel like it only scratches the surface of something bigger. As it stands, it's a very unique, special release. What I mean is there's really nothing like it out there. I told some friends about it and they enjoyed it too. It's just so different. I feel like in the future, he can take it in many different directions. I remember texting him and telling him I thought it would be great if he read some of these essays with coffin salesmen playing instruments. I picture him opening for a coffin salesman show while they play music as he does his reading of the essays. I can also imagine bands having him write new material and using it before songs start instead of clips from popular TV shows and movies. I can imagine him as the next Henry Rollins doing spoken word tours. Like I said, it feels like Trev is on to something fresh and new, and I really hope he keeps writing essays. Instead of just reading them, I hope there can be other instruments involved and other bands using sound clips from it. I hope he can do some spoken word stuff at coffee houses and be an opening act for bands like Coffin Salesman and other bands. The world's your oyster, Trev. Ryan, would you like to do your review?
Yeah, I like what you first before I get in my review. I like what you said about Trev's release there. I really like listening to it myself, and I told him, well, I kind of when I got the preview on Patreon and it was 20 minutes or so, I thought, okay, that's a cool introduction. There must be more, and that was it. I wanted more. I want more. So he
I
needs
think he's
to
on to something.
get more
Yeah.
out there.
We need to encourage him to keep doing this because, like I said, I don't know anyone else who's doing it. Everyone I know seems to enjoy it. It's just so different, and you can go so many different directions in it. There's just endless possibilities of what you can do. I think he's just starting right now, testing the waters, and I think the waters are turning out to be great. And people seem to be into it. So, good job, Trev.
Yeah, yeah.
New lessons.
I think I heard him mention that he might have responded to me. I recall something that this was kind of just the first start, and he's got more lined up,
Awesome.
or something along those lines. So, okay, let's get back to the record. I've reached my limit of hardcore that I can listen to. I
had a
haven't
feeling.
even been listening to very much music. Yeah, I haven't even been listening to very much music in general. I've been listening to podcasts instead, uh, driving to work, that kind of stuff. And one of the podcasts that Trev has mentioned, I believe, because I'm pretty sure that's how I found it, the latest episode of Don't Quit Your Day Job with Paul Neal featured Orlando Furioso, also another hardcore band. And I don't remember which one of them said it, but one of them said, quote, "If you're into hardcore, you're not a casual fan." And that quote immediately stood out to me when I heard it, having just received another hardcore record from Trev. Hardcore fans really are into hardcore, and I'm just not. More than half a lifetime ago, I did listen to a few hardcore bands like F-. There were a couple Agnostic Front albums released on Epitaph that I liked, but probably preferred H2O the most out of the. I never really got deeper into other hardcore bands. At the time, I was living in Humboldt County, Northern California, and this small sample was just the right amount of loud, fast music to drown out all of the hippie shit everyone else there was playing. My time in the photography darkroom is where I truly honed my skill of being able to tune out anything, especially fucking jam bands. I'm doing the usual deeper dive here into the bands to see if I can find information to make the music more relatable for me. I went back and listened to episode 420 of the Struggling Artist podcast that featured Trash Diva. Trev asked Nikki about the cadence of the songs and how she chooses when to scream the lyrics. I've outgrown this kind of lyrical delivery, though she does it very well. I mean, I think if people are into it, they would enjoy this. I listened to a couple of studio songs from the Bandcamp page, and it seemed slightly less frequent, but certainly still there. This is from a live recording, and I bet the vocals would be great as part of an overall performance, but hearing it on a record was a bit much for me. Um, I noticed most of the songs on Bandcamp actually had lyrics on them as well. And when Mike was talking, Mike from Trash Diva talked to Trev. He was talking about starting this band because he wanted to be in a hardcore band again. I guess it all goes back to if you're into hardcore, you're not a casual fan.
And again,
And if you want to play in a hardcore
Eastern
band,
Baltimore,
you just
Eastern Baltimore, Eastern Baltimore, Baltimore is the biggest hardcore city in America right now.
Yeah.
So he's probably inspired by seeing all these other Baltimore hardcore bands and figured, shit, I want to do this too.
When I started looking into information about M.A.C.E, it was a bit trickier. I'm not sure if it was because I was tired of thinking about hardcore or because Google showed me an American thrash metal band formed in 1982 and Discogs showed me an Italian thrash metal band formed in 1984. At least the Italian band used the same stylized spelling with the period after each letter. Bandcamp showed me another band named M.A.C.E, although I was finally getting closer. This band was from Chicago with their first release listed as 2016. The band from this DCPC split can be found at Mace Hardcore, all one word, .bandcamp.com, which I was able to find after searching using the stylized name in Bandcamp. And like you mentioned, they do have a 6-song EP there, and I think 5 of the 6 songs were on the live release. Similar with Trash Diva, I believe they had all but 1 song available on Bandcamp as a studio version, something like that. It was pretty close. So if you like the live and you want to hear a studio, you can get most of it for both bands. Overall, I think this DCPC release was another great live recording released on vinyl. And if you're not just a casual hardcore fan and you're really into hardcore, you should give this record a shot. I love the DCPC live releases. Like Bill and you both said, they're quality live recordings. I like the amount of banter each band put in, just enough to introduce the next song without going on and on. So, yeah, I think I would be okay going to see either of these bands live. To see the show and the performance, I don't know if I'd listen to the record though.
Well, I got good news for you. Next month, I do know what record it's going to be because I'm a huge fan and Chad wanted to make sure I didn't already have it. And I was debating on whether or not to buy it. But I will tell you, it's not a hardcore record. I believe you're going to like it a lot. I'm looking forward to it. And Trev, you better have sent us the color records because I could have got a color record, but I waited it out because I knew he wasn't sure if it was going to be part of the club. And I was like, I got to pull the trigger. I got to get it. I love this band. And finally, I was like, well, shit, I'll just wait because it's probably going to do a part of them. Anyway, it's not hardcore. It's going to be a great record. So
good to hear. I think this is going to be a short episode.
Yeah. I think we're about done.
All right. We'll see you guys next month.
Yep. See ya.